CME just announced the BFF contract. Talk to us about it, and why should traders and investors take note of this new announcement?
We're super excited about the latest addition to our cryptocurrency suite, Bitcoin Friday Futures, and what we're really hoping will become investors' new best friend, or BFF, Bitcoin Friday Futures, right? This particular contract, right, we're introducing this contract. It's a bit smaller sized. And that's really from feedback that we receive from market participants, particularly, say, individual, sophisticated retail traders, right? What we're hearing, with the price movement that we've seen in the marketplace, when you look at Bitcoin, last year the price of Bitcoin more than doubled. This year, even though the past couple sessions, we've seen some price decline. But overall, year to date, Bitcoin is still up about 30%. So what happens with our existing suite of products, we have a Bitcoin futures contract at 5 Bitcoin. We have a micro Bitcoin futures contract at 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So at these elevated prices, even that smaller micro Bitcoin contract becomes a little bit inaccessible for some retail participants. So we're introducing Bitcoin Friday futures at 1/50th of a Bitcoin. So that's 5 times smaller than our existing micro Bitcoin futures contract. Additionally, this contract in the name has Friday. So this contract is a weekly contract which will expire every Friday. We'll list 2 contracts at a time. So investors will have the opportunity to trade, this coming Friday's Friday contract or next Friday's Friday contract, if you will, right? Now, because it's a shorter dated, shorter duration contract, it should trade much closer to spot. If you just think about how a futures contract is priced, and let's say it's the beginning of the month, for example, and you've got a choice to either trade MBT, trade BFF. MBT is a monthly contract, so it's going to have roughly at the beginning of the month about 30 days worth of carry. Right? When you look at BFF, it's going to have a carry of 4 to 5 days. So in terms of that price to the underlying spot price of Bitcoin, BFF should trade much closer to spot. Now, as the month goes on, MBT, the carry will get smaller and smaller. So it would also be interesting to see how those 2 contracts, say, interact with each other in a way, because I think that there'll also be, a basis between those 2 contracts. The other thing that's different with this contract, both our MBT, micro Bitcoin futures, and Bitcoin futures contract settle to the CME and crypto facilities Bitcoin reference rate. Now, that is a reference rate that is published at 4 p.m. London time every day. BFF will settle to the BRNY, so the CME and crypto facilities Bitcoin reference rate New York variant. Now, what's important there and interesting at the same time is that when you look at the volume that we've been seeing, particularly during US hours, and really after the launch of the spot Bitcoin ETFs earlier this year, we're seeing more and more Bitcoin Ether volume traded during US hours. In fact, if you look at volume just between 3 to 4 p.m. New York time, and bear in mind that the ETFs settle, or net asset value is calculated for the ETFs at 4 p.m. New York, and 7 out of the 10 new spot Bitcoin ETFs are benchmarked to that same rate that BFF is settling to, the BRNY. And what we're seeing in that 1 hour window between 3 to 4 p.m. New York, we're really seeing an upswell of volume. In fact, over 20% of a day's volume is now being transacted in that window. So BFF now, smaller sized, shorter duration, right, settling to BRNY, is really also providing our clients that opportunity now to tap into some of that growing liquidity, particularly around the net asset value calculation of these ETFs. And it's important to note that this contract is complementary to our existing suite.